Are we on? Yeah. First thing, you have to check the stream whether we are buffering. The sound is okay, and I'm seeing here a little dark. I'm not sure. I might be a bit darker than usual on your streams. It's okay. It's fine. Or what's happening? Darker than usual. We are not that nene. It's okay. Fine. We are not that clear. I mean, we are not that sharp. What is it called? In camera, I've changed something, and I may not be able to correct it right now. But the reason I'm not going to correct it right now is because we're not going to use the bigger screen, because most of our talking today will be here. First, we'll talk about Xavi Simons and Morgan Rodgers later on. We are also going to talk about Arsenal, and we are also going to talk about Real Madrid and just general transfer. But we are starting with, you know, things have started happening. First, here is our Chelsea transfer. Why are you running? Why are you running? Come back. Come back, come back, come back. Yeah, you have come back. You have come back. We are talking about how we how we are going to, you know, make a squad, and in this 47-man squad we have to remove the people that we have signed out, because Mamadou Sarr has been shipped to Strasbourg. Then Caleb Willy has also been shipped to, I think, is it Watford? I'm not very sure, but I know he has been shipped. Any other person who has been shipped, this is how we need to be doing. I don't think anybody else. I don't think there's anybody else can replace. I'm not sure. Yeah, as at now, July 22nd, this is still the bulk of Chelsea squad. And the news since yesterday but one has all been on Xavi Simons. Before that, it was all on Morgan Rodgers. Every news, every rumor was on Chelsea wanting Morgan Rodgers, and it was to be a swap between Morgan Rodgers and probably Madueke, probably Nicholas Jackson and Disasi. But since yesterday, everybody or every news or every, those people usually put out transfer news. I've started claiming that we are very serious with Xavi Simons. We have even started contacting other agents like that. Who's that called? Who's this person called? The Caicedo agent is a big person. I don't know how he does. He has been helping with ensuring that we sign Xavi Simons, which definitely we are going to sign probably. I'm not sure, but the way we have been moving in this transfer season, it looks likely that we are going to sign Xavi Simons. And now, the two issues that a lot of people have been talking about. First was, is Xavi Simons coming as a backup? And if he's coming as a backup, why is he going to play? Will he play on the wing? Will he play on a Cole Palmer position? Will he be playing in attacking midfielder or left wing? Because he plays nearly the same way, not as effectively, but nearly the same way as Cole Palmer. But just on the right wing because he uses his left wing to shoot most of the time, and Palmer uses his right wing to shoot most of the time. So he's a opposite, he's a replica of Palmer. So everybody was wondering if he's coming to play as an attacking midfielder, is coming to be a backup to Palmer, or and if he's coming to be a backup to Palmer, now how will the team change? Because we have to sell a lot of people. We have to sell a lot of people to get the number of the 29 guys which Maresca requested. If we are going to sign Xavi Simons, it means we are not going to sign Rodgers. And if you are not going to sign Rodgers, it means that probably we are not going to exchange Nicholas Jackson with Aston Villa. So Jackson will be here because, again, Man United is not going to purchase him or sign him. And Arsenal, again, is not going to sign him. So Jackson will be here, Pedro will be here, and who's the other guy? Delap will be here. Those three will be here. And on the right wing, we'll have Gittens because we're not going to sign him and then just loan him out. He's too good to be loaned out. And nobody is requesting for Nkunku. So probably we'll still be having Nkunku here. And maybe we might loan Tyreek George, but then it's nearly now 40 days to the end of the period. Nobody again has requested for Tyreek George. So probably we'll still be here. We are going to have a bloated squad. I'm not just sure how. And I've been talking about it, like, to some extent, even in my previous videos, and some people just started, defending why we need those amounts of, those amount of players will be in 4 competitions next season, and not just certain kind of competition. Like, we'll be in Champions League, Premier League, League Cup, and FA. And those 4 competition really requires that we have a big, like a bloated squad. I'm not just sure with the type of players we are signing, because we are not signing people who are coming to be benched. If you are signing Morgan Rodgers and you are signing Xavi Simons, you are not signing them to come and be benched. And then Xavi Simons has always had issues with the teams that benched him. When he was in PSG, he moved from PSG to Leipzig because he was not getting the required minutes. And I don't see why he will now agree to come here to be a backup. I'm just not sure how this thing plays. Now, if you are going to sign any of them, in my opinion, I think Xavi Simons is a better shooter, he has more output than Morgan Rodgers in attacking. But if you are signing an attacking midfielder, Morgan Rodgers usually offers more output in terms of running, in terms of trying to make the tackles, in terms of all these other things that are usually not seen by a lot of people, like running into spaces, coming back, defending sometimes. Probably we have a lot of luxury players. It may look like we need people to score, but we have a lot of them. We already have people who can score. We need people who can gel the squad. And I'll prefer Rodgers. If we have to sign either Xavi Simons or Rodgers, I know Xavi is a good player. He's a better player. Can you say overall? But whatever is offering, there are a lot of people in the squad that are offering the same. So we can't just buy the same kind of players. We can't just be buying the same kind of players. And McHugh, like people like Cole Palmer, usually don't get injured. We have a lot of people who don't get injured. So if you're signing to replace them, then the person who's coming to replace them will have very, very few minutes. is not going to be injured and is not going to accept to be subbed in every other game. So that's the issue that Maresca will probably have with the signing. Now, I've already talked about people that need to be moved out because I think Derek George needs to be loaned out. If we have Gittens, if we sign one of these and we have Estavao and we have Pedro Neto and we have Nkunku, like either one of them or two of them needs to be moved out, or again, our squad will start having issues. A lot of, we know Gui is going to be moved out, Broja, Datro. Now, three strikers are okay for me. Jackson, Pedro, and Delap. The three are okay for me. The three, they can play. All of them can play. Plus, a lot of them, like Delap and Nicholas, usually gets. They're not very. You'll tell they are traditionally strikers who uses physicality more. And with VR, they are susceptible to get, red cards or yellow cards. So it means they might miss some of the games. Now, that's it about Chelsea, I think, for now. Just for now. Now, let's talk about Arsenal. Arsenal, this transfer season, they have had, a lot of rumors. They have signed a certain kind of, like certain players who are not going to fit in their first 11. Like they have signed Kepa, who's again is going to be number 2. They have signed Zubimendi, who probably will be in the first 11, but only if Declan Rice starts playing in as a DM, as a traditional DM. And then they have signed Nogard. Now, will Nogard may be played, but Nogard, I don't think he came to replace Partey in the same way. So, again, he's probably not going to be in the first 11 if Declan Rice plays as a DM. Now, the people, they signed Madueke too. And Madueke, again, if he's going to be playing in the right wing, he's not going to be there in the first 11. So, the people who you think Arsenal might have wanted to sign to like bolster the squad to compete for Premier League, the deals are just falling apart. Like right now, today in the morning, I don't know where you are, but today in the morning, is it the Sun that claimed that Gyokore's deal has just gone silent. Of course, yesterday when Arteta was being asked about Gyökeres, his statement finished with "yet," which meant that they were still working on the deal. Like they were a bit with some kind of certainty that they will sign him. If you are using "yet," it means it will happen eventually, which means that probably Gyökeres will still be going to Arsenal. But you know how politics play in football, especially football transfers. One, there were claims yesterday that some people, some agents who are closer to Sporting had asked Man United to bid for Gyökeres. That might be just politics, because if Man United bids for Gyökeres, it means that Arsenal will have some kind of competition. It will be like, if a lot of people are demanding for these players, then you'll have to meet whatever the seller is asking. That's the thing. But Man United does not bid. No any other team has bid for Gyökeres as at now. And Gyökeres is adamant is not going to play for Sporting this coming season. So Sporting will have to sell him, or just if they don't sell him, then they will have to deal with the player that doesn't want to play him next season. So eventually they'll have to sell him or loan him before the end of the season. And if Arsenal is adamant that they are not going to change the terms, now it's going to be a fixed. That's that thing that you wait. And it's not just with Gyökeres. They also want Mosquera. Mosquera is a defender. It's a defender from, what's the team? Why am I not? Why? Mosquera is a defender from, I think, is it Villarreal? Uh, Valencia. But the deal again is just 21. So they are also not signing him to be first 11. And this is the problem. Like, it's like Arteta, he's so sure that his team is complete. Like, his team, the way they played last season, they'll probably play better without even adding other people, like adding other world class people, because they're signing, they were only concerned with the striker this time round. I don't think they have signed anybody for any other position who's coming to like really take that position in the first 11. All the guys that are signing are just coming to be subs or backups. I don't understand him. But that's about Arsenal. Now, the other issue that I wanted to talk about is just how generally the transfer strategy for different teams has changed. You know, initially, back if we go back to 2002 and early 2000, just before 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 we started this whole thing of transfer, before people started spending a lot of money on transfer, first there were teams who were spending a lot of money, but they were not just spending on every other player. They had to spend on marquee signings, like we had Man United with how they played. And then when Abramovich bought Chelsea, he went into a spree of buying every player expensive, and that has been the norm for a very long time. Like since 2004, it was like if you have money, you'll get the right kind of players, uh, and you'll be able to build a team that will win the league. But over it happened for a couple of years, like from 2004 to I think 2013, 2014. It was always like that. Like if you have money, you get the right kind of players, you win. But I think things started changing because people, even teams who had money, who had a lot of money, they will still be buying players and the players will not be fit. It became apparent that a lot of players or a lot of teams were, you could say, overpricing, or some, it was just about money to an extent that you will sign a player expensive, but they will not give the same output. They will not give the same, you know, what you signed for, like the value for the amount you have signed. And that has happened until probably Boeli and Egbali. And I think it's time for football world to really thank these guys because they are reversing the amount of people. Of course, we bought 100 million players, 100 million players in Enzo and Caicedo. But since then, I think we haven't bought a player very expensive. And I think a lot of the teams who are buying people expensively have not been doing the same. Even Madrid has been very, you know, has not been spending the way it used to spend, the way it spent on Ronaldo, the way it spent on Bell, the way it spent on Hazard and every other guy. A lot of teams right now don't want to spend that huge money, because huge money does not guarantee that you'll get the player that you need. Huge money does not guarantee that you are going. A lot of people have been bought with a lot of money, but they have not given the same output. And right now, a lot of teams are not willing to spend that much money. And I think that's the problem that is happening with, because even if you compare the strikers right now, I think Liverpool are the only team that are still spending huge money, which is it really unlike them? Of course, they have been spending huge money on marquee signings, like small signings, but the seasons they have gone overboard. But every other team, Man United, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Real, those are teams that initially, of course not Arsenal, initially was spending so huge, but in this season they've not been doing that thing. Even the way people have been linking Real Madrid to a DM, saying that they're going either to buy Enzo 150 or buy another midfielder for a couple of millions. It hasn't materialized, because I think Madrid has also realized that a lot of teams are overpricing their players. Like, a lot of teams are overpricing their players. Like Nicholas Jackson, even Chelsea wants a minimum of 80, because Liverpool bought Ekitike 79. It bought Weeds. You know, Weeds had 10 goals. 10 goals. And he was bought for 115. That's overpricing. Like, there's nothing. And that's overpricing. Like, but it's a new thing for Liverpool. They need to go through that period where they are suffering, where they have those big players. And the problem of signing a player with such amount of money is that if they don't perform, like if you are signing a player for 100 and they don't perform, then you're going to make a lot of losses. If you're signing a Kitike for 79 and next season is scoring 6 goals, and probably you need to replace him, so you need to buy another striker, how much are you going to sell him? Which teams will really want him at that price? You know, and this is the thing with the Bluco, like Ekbali. Like, they have done good business in the past. How they signed Vega. They signed Vega for only 12. Now, even if they sell him for 40, they're still making profit. They signed Nicholas for 32. If they sell him for even 60, they're still going to make a profit. They have signed a lot of people for 27, 20, and they can sell them for 40 and still make profit. It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same like in 2020 and 2021, because they signed people like Pulisic for 60, 57. Now, the way he performed with the injuries, you cannot sell the same player for that amount. It means that you'll make a loss. And it's not just with the signing price. It's also about if you're getting a player and you're giving him this huge salary. Like for Ekitike, they're giving him 300. And for Chelsea, they made a lot of mistakes, because now people like Chilwell are on 200. A lot of Nkunku is on 250. We have a lot of people who are on 200. Now, even with their performance, no team is going to cater for that amount. And at the same time, the player will not be willing to go to a mid-table team to get a smaller or lower their salary. And that has happened with Man United, with people like Sancho or Rashford. Like, it's even, they are lucky that Barcelona came for came for Rashford. I don't know if Sancho has already gone because Juventus wanted him. I'm not sure if the deal is complete or not. Not yet. But again, oh, Jadon Sancho move in jeopardy. Juventus would, you know, and I think that's the issue. Salary. Juventus put a stop to negotiations with struggling Man United winger. They're going for, other players because he's not willing to lower the salary. So he rather become a reserve player than lower his salary. And especially with people who are going to their further end of their career, like 28, 29. Like right now, I think we will have to loan, Chilwell and cater for probably half of his salary until 2027. 2 seasons. Like we loaned him the previous season, we need to loan him this season, and then the next season before we can release him off the books. And if you do that to every other player, like if we had agreed to do that to a lot of players, even last year. Was it last year when Barcelona was taking all our transfers because everybody wanted people like Rafinha? They were not willing. If we had to take Rafinha off Barcelona, we had to pay him very hugely. People like, who's the other guy that went to Barcelona, the right back? We again had to pay him. If those deals, if you are like you are signing like probably 5 players at that salary, and then 3 of them do not work out, that will be a problem. And it will not just be a problem for those people, because if a player is getting a lot of money and is not playing the same way or at a higher performance, all these other guys who are performing will start wanting more, you know. And I think this is the same thing that has happened over since, and a lot of teams are trying to correct. Chelsea has been trying to correct since last window, and especially this window. And I think Arsenal are also trying to correct. Madrid are also trying to correct, and I don't know about Man United. And that's why these deals are taking too long, because there's a lot of negotiations. Nobody wants to be to be swindled. These teams don't want to be swindled. There's a lot of swindling with agents, with the team selling, with one season wonders. You get a player who's 20 and he has just scored 20 goals. Now you want 100 million, and it's just a single season. That can't work. That should not work. That should not be the norm. And it has been the norm for like the previous 4 years. That's why there's a lot of problem right now. But I thank Boeli, I thank Egbali, who have helped the football world to correct this mess. And we hope that going forward, teams like Liverpool, who are now, taking the Abramovich route, will reconsider their transfer strategy and just stop with the expenditure. Stop with buying one season wonders for that price, even if they're not one season. Like Ekitike, how old is Ekitike? Ekitike has. I'm still on that issue. I talked about it yesterday, but it hasn't gone up. Like Ekitike, let's just go with the Ekitike. Ekitike season starts. Ekitike has played Bundesliga. He has played 2 seasons, 23-24 24-25. In 23-24, he played 14 matches, had 4 goals, 2 assists. 24-25, he played 33 matches, he had 15 goals, 8 assists. Now, comparatively, let's just compare him to some of the strikers. I should be showing this thing. Yeah. If you compare him to, let's start with Jackson. Hey, why are you delaying? If you compare him to, you'll have to wait, because Nicholas Jackson, they're nearly the same age, 23-24. Minutes per game, matches 33. You just need to get the goals. 24-25. Not FIFA World Cup, Premier League even. While Ekitike had 15 goals in Bundesliga, there's always that Bundesliga tax. Jackson had 10 goals in Premier League. You have to ensure you put that thing. Jackson had 5 assists. Ekitike had 8 assists. And then those are the only 2 important things you have to. Now let's compare him with another like Sesko. These are people from the same league. Sesko is even younger, 22 years old. Sesko had 13 goals. 13 goals in in a lower team, getting fewer chances, and had 5 assists. Which means even if you're going for Sesko again, you'll have to pay nearly a similar amount. And I think it's the same thing with Gyökeres. Now I think this. Now you can see the comparison here. Goals. This is Gyökeres versus Sesko. If this one, who's scoring 15 goals? Who's scoring 15 goals in 33 matches? Of course, that's Bundesliga. This is Liga Portugal. But this other one had 39 goals, 7 assists. If you are paying for this guy 80, it means even teams, like as much as it's 27 and again is in his prime and will just be going downwards. For a person who's scoring like that, you are not going to pay less than 70. And I think this is again is the problem with that is happening with the Arsenal signing him, because those guys are adamant you either meet the price or we are not talking. And I think that's going to continue until the end of the season. So for those people who are waiting for Gyökeres this week, next week, I'm sorry for you. You'll have to wait a little longer. So, but tomorrow Arsenal are going to face in their first friendly. I think who's the uh I think they're going to face which team? Which team? Arsenal friendly tomorrow. Tomorrow is 23rd. They're going to face AC Milan. I think AC Milan is a good competitor to rate. Arsenal and their signings. Of course, Madueke will not be there because he has been given holiday period, but it's a good time to rate Zubimendi. Probably they'll give Kepa some 45 minutes, and they'll also have Norgard until tomorrow. Until tomorrow. Anyway, if you have been here and you like whatever we are doing, please subscribe, please share, please give a like. And until we get more news to give to you. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Good day.